Good evening, everyone, and thanks very much for coming in once again. I would like to say thanks to Gravitas as well to organize this networking event. I think it's quite helpful when you are working in the same sector and coming together. My name is Sandeep Tyagi. My background is IT operations management, and then gradually I moved into business management and business consultancy. Have been doing MBA from Warwick Business School from last 2 years, coming to an end now. And my presentation is going to focus on leadership today. I'm not going to touch upon how you're going to deliver it or implementation of transformation program. It's purely leadership, and I'm pretty sure Tara is going to focus on those things. To start with, why transformation? If you know why you need transformation or change in your organization, and what you need to do, what you're going to do, then it's very easy to find out how you're going to get there. So why transformation? Change is inevitable. There is a say, I've read it a number of times, and I personally believe change is inevitable at least at workplace. Most of the organizations, I believe 75% businesses within UK are going through transformation at the moment. And while studying entrepreneurship and new venture creation, I read this, that 25% new venture fail in their first year and 70% fail in their 10th year. Guess why? Because they do not adapt change. That's a problem. So again, change is inevitable. Change is very important. And type of changes there can be number of factors, political factors where new reforms are coming in, and your organization or company is being forced to bring change in the organization. Economical factors, from last couple of years, we have been going through credit crunch, and many organizations are focusing on how to save money, what to do. So they are doing process re-engineering, they are bringing new systems in to bring efficiency within the organization to save money. Customer needs, your customers may need 24/7 services, or recently the drone services have started going here and there. Amazon is launching this, so that is again transformation. Trends can be going into cloud, going virtual, innovation, and failure of businesses create opportunities to other businesses as well. That can be linked with transformation as well. Have you heard about this product, Maggie? Yeah, recently in India, it's been boycotted by almost all the states. Nestle has got 350 million pound of business in India, and this is instant noodle business mostly for children. However, the quantity of lead in this product was pretty high, and therefore they are gone out of the market, which is creating businesses for other competitors, for newcomers, and of course they have started doing transformation now. What do you think, how important the vision is after you know why? Okay. Do you know this guy? Right? Winston Churchill, a great leader, emotional leader. I've read about him. Led Britain in the World War II to make sure that we have a victory upon Nazis. He was there, he was leading, motivating people, inspiring them, and make sure that it happens. Another guy? You know him? Winston Churchill had number of formal positions in his career, within the army, in the political career. Mahatma Gandhi, no formal position, born and brought up in India, studied in Britain, and discriminated and humiliated in Africa. Finally decided to fight. He led non-violence freedom fight in India and persuaded almost every Indian to follow him. And finally, he won it as he, I would say, forced Britishers to go out from India in 1947, and they got freedom. What was common in these two guys? Anyone? Vision. Vision. Vision of vision of victory. They wanted to get there, and that's why I say vision is very important. If you cannot describe your vision to your management or to your employees within 5 minutes or maximum 5 minutes, you need to do more. I suggest now moving into implementation and how you're going to lead transformation. I suggest you have number of stages in your transformation program. There can be 2 stages, there can be 8 stages, depends on on the size of your program. Make sure transformation program is aligned with your corporate strategy, which links with vision. Your vision must be very, very clear. You must know what you are going to achieve as a leader. Identify people with leadership skills and form a core team. I've learned it from Steve Smith while working with him at Genesis, that you need to find people who has got good strength, who has got focus of delivering, who can manipulate, manipulate, who can motivate people, who can inspire them, and who has got good reputation in the business, so people can trust them. I'll talk about getting how you can get buying in a minute. And I've been asked a number of times how you can fill the gap if leaders are not available. You can hire experienced consultants. There are few. There are many here. Promote employees who can lead, and you can, of course, motivate and inspire people. Appoint dedicated operational team for planning and implementing. This is usually called PMO team. You need it for implementation. Communicate urgency, prepare organization for change and reduce complacency. This is one of the biggest problems which almost all organizations face. And I was speaking with Steve Smith. He ended up in the same situation recently. I'm helping Octavia because they are facing the same problem. Bombard people with information for future opportunities. Share low customer satisfaction statistics to create that sense of urgency that, no, we need to get there, why this is a problem. Share any other crisis info with facts. You need to be very clear that facts are there. Make senior management visible. Recently I organized, I asked all the directors to go out and have a road show, directly speak with employees so that they can understand what they are facing, if they have got any frustrations. Organize discussions in the kitchen. This is what I like. You must have change champions in your transformation program. Just ask them to go and talk about all these issues to create sense of urgency, because that's where people come and they talk about all those things in and out. So it's very important to have something like that. Baseline and review. I think this is a change curve, and you must have you have seen this, and this is a typical situation in any organization when they are going through transformation. It starts with denial and finishes at change accepted commitment. Most of the time, what happens is we don't review these stages. I suggest if you have got stages, you must review them by end of every stage, and you must ensure that you have got right strategies to resolve these issues. Most difficult situation is red stage. I suggest you organize team building events, you do a lot of consultation, you do a lot of communication, engage them if people are frustrated and they say, oh, you have never discussed this with us, we don't know about this. So engage them as much as you can. Give them opportunity to contribute and speak. Trust them. This is very much required. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Most of the time people say, oh, if we are doing too much communication, it's not going to work. No, it works. You need to make sure that you are precise, share only useful information. And you must have a dedicated team for communication. If too many people are sending communication out, it's not going to work. Number of possible communication channels. I suggest use every possible channel you can. Meetings, emails, blah, blah, blah. WhatsApp. Jazz is sitting there. He suggested on one of the projects to use WhatsApp, and we used it. And it really worked out very well for us. For project work, it was fine. How it worked for us? When we were working in a stressful environment, during the weekends, during nights. So we used to send inspirational quotes, inspirational music. I liked videos from Rocky movie, which we used to share, and it really worked for everyone because it used to reduce stress of our people. Be realistic, guys. Define clear strategies. According to the McKinsey report, I've recently read that 70% transformation programs fail because they do not focus on their strategies. They do not have clear strategies. So this is, again, very, very important. Define dependency maps for resources and systems. It can be a critical map, which will help you in future to forecast how many resources you need, what are the risks and issues you can face. So you must have dependency map in place. Put clear program structure in place and appoint required resources. This is another problem which almost, I won't say everyone, but yeah, I think 75% people face, because they launch transformation programs, they do not forecast how many people they would need, and eventually end up hiring people at the last minute. It costs you more and it creates more risk for you. So you need to be very, very clear how many resources you need, hire them in the beginning so they can be a part of your transformation program since the beginning. Never underestimate existing change managers, because they have got tremendous knowledge about your business and your processes. They understand it. It is a tendency in the housing associations specifically that we ignore them. Please make sure that they are a part of your program. Review progress and communicate. Again, it goes to communication. Define program methodology and ensure consistency. I've seen people, a number of projects even working for me, they used to use their own templates, they used to have their own methodology of managing projects, and I end up facing issues when I was sitting in front of senior management where they are asking, what's happening? Why are they using different templates? Go back, ask them to do the same work again. So it's time-consuming job. Make sure you have got clear consistency throughout the program for the success of it. Do not overcommit and don't take U-turns. Be a leader. Motivate people. Inspire them. Don't be overconfident. Otherwise, this can transform your image in the organization. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Network within and outside the organization. Almost, I think everyone knows about it, that how much networking is important. So I won't be talking about it more, but use your operational networks to get the work done. Use your personal network to get personal strength. Use your strategic networks to get the strategy knowledge to get how you can craft your vision together. Be playful with yourself. Try new things. Observe role models and keep refining your style. You must have role models. It can be Steve Jobs, it can be someone else. And keep observing them. Learn from them, how they have managed situations in the past. And keep redefining your style, redefining your role. Take calculative risks. Risks are very important in transformation programs. Aim to learn. Do not just focus on performance goal. Ask your team and be ready to learn at any point of time. Don't stick to your story, learn from others. Be very, very flexible. Have fun with employees, be visible. This is a question people usually ask, how I can be more visible. Do funny things. Just be a dog, I would say. Define your territory. Go anywhere you want, and literally don't leave any space in your organization where you can't walk, where you can't see people, where you can simply go and do anything, or pay, if you are hungry, just grab. And then when people ask, oh, this is mine, say, welcome to my program. Touch them. Put a hand around them. Yeah. So be playful, so that once you are in that position, then people literally come near to you. They become very, very flexible, and it works out really well. And once you are at that stage, then you can literally persuade people. They start listening to you. So this is required. Be a chameleon. That's again, you must know how you can transform your position in the meetings. You must sense what is going on in there. I would suggest you guys to read an article why people are calling Barack Obama as chameleon. Please do read that.
Where's it from? Do you know?
You can find it at HBR, Harvard Business Review.
Thanks.
Empower people, provide needed training. This is a common problem where we fail. We simply think, all right, okay, one-off training is fine. No, provide them as much as training you can offer them. It can be one-to-one, it can be room training, it can be floor walking, it can be anything. Just give them enough tools and enough time so that they can learn. Host surgery workshops, that's another kind of training you can provide. Encourage employees to come up front and speak. Give them opportunity, because most of the time the frustration is, oh, I've never got an opportunity to speak. All right, come, speak. What do you want to say? Challenge them. Next time they won't speak. Identify transformation champions. I did touch upon that, what they can do in the kitchen. You must have transformation champions so that they can go out and they can learn what issues are going on in the organization, or Jazz. What issues are going on, so that they can bring that information back and can help leadership team to get an action plan together. Consider award for employees. This is common approach, and I think this is required. Give them extra responsibilities and tool to work. Look after them, create positive culture, stress-free environment. Make sure that they are not working 65, 72 hours in a week, as I used to do. Other common errors: allow too much complacency. I've touched upon it. If you allow people to be laid back, then they will never change. You need to create sense of urgency so that they can understand why this is required and they can change themselves. In most of the presentations, we start with negatives. Oh, these are the issues we are facing. Always start with positives. Negatives can come after them. Little communication about vision. I was reading an article, and I did focus on vision, how important it is. Only 0.58% communication in the organizations is happening at the moment in UK per month. So you can understand how much you are communicating your vision. Vision is key. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Not engaging knowledgeable employees. I think I did touch upon that, so I move on. Appointing new manpower on transformation projects. Most of the time, as managers, what we do is, oh, we need 5 consultants. They're coming in and they're straight away working on the projects. No, don't forget your permanent employees. They're gonna stay. So you must maintain that balance. Otherwise, they'll feel frustrated and they'll leave. Failing to create short-term wins. When we are working on transformation programs, we simply see, right, okay, we're gonna deliver this after 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, or 36 months. But we don't focus on short wins. This is required. This is your business as usual. You must focus on that as well. Permitting obstacles for too long, not good. Take out rotten apples if required. Try to motivate them. If they can't, you need to find them who they are, and you need to exclude them from your projects. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Thank you, guys. Questions? Guys, there you go. Sorry about that. Please, any questions?
I'll start us off, if that's okay. So, obviously, most of the delegates in this room today are public sector NPO, and I've been recruiting for the public sector and NPO sectors for pretty much the entirety of my career. I get sometimes a bit of stick from the rest of the senior management team about their commercial clients and how on the brink of technology they are and how on the edge of transformation they are, and there seems to be a stigma attached to the sector. Although I know housing is obviously moving towards a more commercialised view.
Yeah.
Do you think that change and transformation is more difficult within the public and NPO sectors than it is within the commercial world?
I don't think so. I completely disagree with that because it depends how flexible your team is. If you have got flexible teams, then it's fairly easy. I've learned this from Steve, working with him, that you must, as I was saying, you must identify right people for your transformation program, and it's easy to go. Yeah. Changing people, changing culture can be difficult. Mm-hmm. But if you try a few of these things, it's going to be easy. Yeah. What all you need is management buying in. If they are happy to support you, then people will change. Yeah.
A bit I'd add to that is around the fact that from what I've read and seen, it doesn't really matter what sector you're in. Most of these things do fail.
Yeah, I said 70% transformation programs fail.
And that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So though it's about getting the right. It's about all the things you talk about is largely change management. It's about making the right connection between the transformation and the program team and the delivery of the change. What tends to happen in programs, particularly ones like the one that we were involved in Genesis, is it was a top-down driven change requirement. So it took quite a lot of time to get that buy-in. And we connected well with the front line, but it took something like 70% replacing the executive and senior management in the organisation over that 2-year period. It's just quite sort of interesting, but I've seen that level of replaced executives and directors be a total disaster for some major global companies.
Yeah.
That we could name. So it is quite interesting. Actually,
Yeah.
we wrote an analysis out in the social housing sector for whatever reason, smaller company, whatever. But we've seen other ones fail in the commercial sector.
Yeah.
So I totally do agree with Sandy on that issue.
I can add a bit to that
Please.
because I used to work in a government project network, and there were all these statistics from the Office of Government Commerce and the Audit Commission about huge government projects failing consistently. And I think there were two issues. One was scale. The UK public sector has bigger projects than anybody else in the world, because the States and Germany and other big economies are more federal. So you don't get a national health service in the United States. It's at state level. It's at state level rather than the national level. And the second was in the UK public sector, a lot of people change roles every 2 or 3 years. So they had this kind of decision inertia where somebody would come in, by the time they were up to speed, they knew they'd be moving in a year. And so I think the really big government departments do struggle. But as actually I used to work for ICI, and frankly that was a bit of an elephant. And so for me, focusing on an organisation which was small enough that I could make a tangible impact, that was the kind of lifeblood, and that was what made it successful.
I also think in the sector there's actually probably a bit of a tendency in transformation to become a bit of a sport, as opposed to that actually there's this inevitable need, quote unquote, to transform when a new leader comes into an organisation. There's a need for this epochal change in that organisation, when actually sometimes what it needs is stability.
Yeah.
So I think that, and I've certainly in the organisation that I've worked in over the last few years, I've actually seen that can actually be quite damaging, that basic assumption that you need to transform by definition. So I think we all have to be quite careful about.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And if I understand it right, I've seen this in the northwest. What happens is, every 3 years, most of the housing associations, every 3 years they launch transformation program or change program they call, and for next 3 years they stay stable. So yeah, I think leaders should understand how much they can change and whether it is required continuously or not. Yeah.
The needs of the organisation and its customers as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't always require transformation. Sometimes requires some tweaks in operations, but not so big.
Yeah. No questions?
Yeah, I mean, just take back that vision point that you're making at the beginning. I mean, I work in the public sector, and it seems to me that often there's a problem with being clear about what the vision is and helping people to engage with that.
Yeah.
Certainly some of the more spectacular failures that I've been involved in have been situations where the idea about what is wanted is very, very muddy, and so people don't actually know what they're supposed to be committing to.
Yeah. Exactly, I agree with you, and that's what happens. Recently, I've started working with a client. They said, "All right, this is what we need." Okay, are you sure about this? Oh yeah, 100%. We are sure about that. After 3 months, oh, I think we needed this. come on, you have already invested. And then this client actually invested about 1.3 million pounds 2 years back on the same program what they are doing now. It's a financial organization. They know how to manage finance, but still they failed. Preet.
It's a kind of observation, to be honest. I think there is a slight, very minute difference between change and transformation. Would you agree with that, or do you think that change and transformation are very similar? Personally, I think there is a slight difference in change and transformation.
It depends. People, I mean, again, I would say it depends because few people, they say it's a change program. Few say it's a transformation program. Transformation is transformation can be of a department or can be for the whole organization. And transformation will include your people change, your processes, your systems, or all those things. Maybe change, maybe just a system change. So it depends how you compare that.
It's a bit about continuous improvement and transformational change, and also just the scope and the scale of the change in the first place. I think the key, one thing I learned from it, learned a huge amount through working with colleagues, and that was around the discipline needed to manage any form of change. To be able to do it actually with a, like I say, clear sense of vision, maybe a plan, maybe actually some resources behind that plan, and maybe working out how those things fit together so you don't try and fire aim ready left, right and centre. I think one of the things we look at in the social sector, and I think across other businesses, is these sorts of things fail, and they fail visibly to people in the front line. So one of the great things that we found is actually be able to say to the front line, look, hands up, we've done a lot of change before, haven't we? How well has it gone? No, it's absolutely rubbish. And why that was? So that's because you just told us how to do it, whereas we kind of don't really know how to do it. We kind of know how to do it, but we need to be brought together, given enough time, and actually a bit more resource, coaching support, whatever it is. So we quite quickly got a connection. So we didn't have a resistance to change that I would have expected for something so huge there. And it's because people were fed up of doing change badly and switching and changing every time. So again, that's interesting. So you can use some of those stories and drivers from where other things haven't worked, because they connect very closely with people who have to deliver the stuff at the end of the day when it doesn't go right.
Yeah. I'm conscious about time. I think it's a time to break. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. And